Alright, my name is Steve Martile, and in today's video I'm going to walk you through what I'm calling the new human ascension protocol or process. So the new human is not the old human. The old human is someone, a human being that has a different type of energy than the new human in different nuances, which I'm going to talk about in this video. And to start, what I'm going to start with is that I want you to think about the old human as a frequency of vibration of possibility. So it's like it's a possibility. It's a possible vibration for your or a timeline for your life, okay? And that there's kind of like two timelines that you're either going to be on. You're going to be the ascended human being, which is we'll call 5 hertz. It's arbitrary. The frequency is arbitrary, but it is a higher frequency, okay? Doesn't mean you're better than other people. Doesn't mean that, you're superior to other people. That's not it at all. It's just a different vibration. It's a higher frequency of vibration. It's like vibration, visible light versus, EMFs versus, there's invisible light we can't see because it's at a different frequency. It's not on our time. We can't visibly see it with our eyes. And so there are certain timelines that you cannot see right now, okay? And some of you are looking for this elevated timeline and you're not there yet, and I want to take you through the process to get there, okay? Which means there's going to be some growth. There's going to be more focus on being in the heart, which is why I have this big heart here, right? 100%. It's a coherent body. The human being's coherent, meaning all cells are firing in this new coherence. Coherence is like, if you've got a stadium full of like 1,000 people and all the people are clapping in sync, that's what it means to be coherent, which means all the cells, the 50 trillion cells in your body are coherent. They're in alignment with what you're doing. There's no conflict, there's no doubts, you're very clear about what you're doing. That's the new human, that's the elevated, ascended human being, okay? It's like they're very in touch with subtle vibrations, but they're also very clear about what they're doing and what they're going, why they're doing it. There's no conflict in the body, and that's what a super coherent human being is. That's a certain vibration, a certain frequency of vibration, okay? All the cells in your body and the energy that surrounds your body, the auric field, is a frequency. You cannot get to this frequency if you have not dealt with the lower level energies, the more dense energies that are keeping you in the lower vibration. Or in this case, well, again, I'm using an arbitrary number, but 3 hertz. Okay, so I'm going to take you to the process of going from here to here, okay? Why would you want to be here? It's because you're coherent. You're in love with life. You get up excited and really, you just want to contribute. You want to be involved. You want to be part of the community. And you want to do the things that you're here to do. There might be previous contracts that you signed from previous lifetimes. But what I can tell you for certain is that your higher self chose to be here by your own free will. You wanted to be on this planet at this time right now. Okay? You 100% emphatically wanted to be here. Now your body might disagree with that because you're struggling. And that's why I'm doing this video, because if you're down here, you can get up here, and I'm going to share the protocol to do it. Okay? Now, I'll share a couple characteristics of being at a lower vibration or this lower frequency. One is that you may be in a state of wanting to feel grounded or stable. Things are chaotic right now. The most chaotic they've probably ever been in a history of human beings. And you want to feel more grounded and stable, but you don't feel that. So one way is to get into meditation, to feel more grounded, to feel more stable. The point of meditation to get more grounded and center is so that you can go from 3 hertz to neutrality. What do I mean? So if 5 hertz is like you wake up excited to do the things that you're here to contribute for humanity, right? Or to go into the work that you do, or to be in the business that you're in. You're just super emphatic about it. And 3 hertz is you wake up conflicted. You wake up feeling doubtful. Part of you wants to be involved, but a part of you does not. So there's halves, there's a duality. And if there's a duality, it tells me you're not in this grounded state. You want to feel grounded, but you're not. Now here's another thing, is that if you feel that you're like, you want to feel grounded, or you want to feel safe, and you want to feel stable, what most human beings will do, again, this is the old human, not the new human, But the old human, what you'll do is, and I know because I've been doing this almost all my life. I just recently started to act like the new human. But the old human would be like, you start to do things on the outside that make you feel more stable. So, for example, you go and take a job because you can pay the bills and you feel more settled and stable and grounded inside. But you're doing stuff on the outside to make you feel more comfortable on the inside. That's the old human. It doesn't mean that that old trauma or the fear that you have has been resolved. It just means you're doing stuff on the outside. You're moving around the chess pieces on the outside of your life to feel okay on the inside so that you feel stable and safe. That's the old human. Now, you can do that if you want. But what I'm saying, it will never get you to where you really want to be in your optimal state. And because you're still dealing with those old energies, that dense energy, those traumas, and you're not dealing with them. So the fear goes away temporarily, but it may come back. It gets triggered by something else. Another thing that you might find is that you want to feel more confident. And again, you organize the outside of your life. You partner with certain people, you do certain things with certain collaborators, or you date certain people so that you feel confident. But ultimately, you don't have the confidence on the inside. Because again, those energies are still disturbed on the inside. So it's a temporary patch. You're using outside things and you're organizing them around in your life so that you feel okay on the inside. Another example is you want to feel in control of your life. Kind of like went off the video here, but you want to feel in control, right? That's the point. You want to feel in control of your life. And so you start organizing things on the outside of your life to feel in control of your life. You tell the people when you're at work, you're the boss man and you just take care of things and you're always like, boom, 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 boom. You're like just out there, the A plus type person, and you're always like that character, that personality that's getting everyone to do what they need to do, and you're telling them what to do, and you feel in control. And again, it's about organizing the outside so that you feel that sense of control. But it's temporary, because as soon as the outside gets chaotic again, then you feel out of control. So the key is like, regardless of what your circumstance is or what's happening on the outside, how do you always feel in control? How do you always feel peaceful, confident? How do you feel grounded and stable? Well, one is, like I mentioned, is to meditate. But the key is that what a lot of people are doing right now is they're using manifestation, intention manifestation, maybe my 7-day manifestation, to create from 3 hertz. And the problem with that is that when you're creating from this space, you're always going to get pushed up against these energies that haven't been resolved. Feeling grounded and stable and safe in your own body, regardless of what's happening on the outside. You are never going to go and become an entrepreneur if you always need to feel safe on the inside by changing the outside. You're always changing the business so that you feel safe. That's not the point of the business. The point is to create value for people and to contribute, regardless of how you feel on the inside. And so you have got to resolve these more dense vibrations in order to ascend. Okay? So what's the protocol? So basic first off is that this little note here I put is really important, is that the breath is the fuel for the body to ascend. So what do I mean by that? So I'll give you an analogy. So I just went for a run this morning, and when I'm running, I'll do the Wim Hof breath every once in a while, because what it does is it provides fuel for the body. Like, I'm already running, right? I'm already moving my legs and moving my arms, and I'm running. But every time that I do the Wim Hof breath, and I really do it, and if you don't know what it is, you can Google it, but the Wim Hof breath is a very deep, intense breath where you're oxygenating the body. Once I do that for 20 to 30 seconds on the run, what happens is I get more energy, right? I'm getting more energy. And that's what I mean, is that the breath is the fuel for the body. And it's the same with this dense energy. As soon as anxiety or worry comes up in the gut area or the sacral area or wherever it is, it could be in the heart area, your job is to breathe through it. Okay, so I'll take you through the steps. The Ascension steps are, number 1, if you're doing something and you're in this I want to feel grounded state, and you notice that you're worried, or you notice you have anxiety, or you notice you're fearful, that's step 1. Step 1 is to notice that you're in a dense or negative vibration, and then you're acting on it. The key is not to act in a negative vibration. The key is to get to neutrality first. Okay? So you notice that you're in a negative vibration. That's step one. Number two is you want to give the feeling a name. Is it worry? Is it anxiety? Is it palpitations in the heart? Do you feel stressed in the shoulders? Like what would be a name of the feeling? So number one is to notice that you're acting out of a feeling of anxiety. You're acting out of a state of worry. You need to feel stable. You need to feel safe. So you go and get that job even though you don't really want to work in that job. Okay, stuff like that. Or you provide a service to a business, or you take on a client and you really don't want to work with them. But you're doing it because you want to feel stable. What I'm saying is stop organizing the outside to make yourself feel safe and stable. What you want to do is you want to feel safe and stable inside. So first, number one is notice whatever the negative state is and just give it a name is number two. So you notice and you give it a name. And then three is do some breathing around the feeling. Where is it in the body? Okay, it's in the heart. I feel like, this anxiety in the heart. Just close your eyes for a minute, take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, just breathe through that sensation. Just breathe through the sensation in the heart. And then again, very intense. And then exhale and just breathe through that sensation around the heart. What are you doing when you're doing that is you're fully accepting the feeling as it is. You're okay with it. And then what happens is it dissipates. So you're in neutrality now. Okay? The key is to go from here to neutrality, always from here to neutrality. Then go into a deep visualization or meditation and create the life that you want from a coherent state. But you first get to neutrality. What do I mean by neutrality? You don't feel a negative state. You feel very at peace. You feel very grounded. You feel that, yeah, I might have this emotion right now of anxiety, but it's just an emotion and I'm noticing it. Just keep noticing it. You don't need to do anything with it. You don't even have to do anything at all. You don't have to take medication. You don't take pills. You don't have to go see a doctor. I mean, I'm not a medical doctor, but if you just have an anxiety and you've had it for 20 years and you still have it right now, but now you're noticing it for the first time, then that's the key thing is just notice it. Just in a state of watching and noticing it. You're not trying to change it or fix it. Just keep noticing and watching it. Give it a name. Like I said, if it's anxiety, and then fully accept the feeling by breathing through it. Just be present to see who's having this feeling right now. And what you'll notice is you're the observer to the feeling. Who's having this feeling right now? And you notice you're the observer to the feeling. As you start to notice the feeling, what happens is it starts to dissipate. It will go away on its own. Okay? So that's key to the Ascension protocol, because as you start to get into this state of noticing and naming these dense vibrations and then just being aware of them, what will happen is they'll start to dissipate. They start to lose their power and control over you, and then you get to the place of neutrality. Once you're in neutrality, then you can ascend. Then you can get in the heart. Then you can take actions. And so the ascension process after that is really about it's about thinking, feeling, and acting from a place of the heart, coherent heart, which means you're fully in a state of love. You're fully in a state of joy. You're fully in a state of these elevated emotions, right? That's the basis for the ascension process, is that you're dealing with the dense vibrations. You're like I said, those 3 steps again, okay? Number 1, you're going to notice that you're doing it right now. Number 1. Number 2 is you're going to give it a name, okay? You've identified with it. And then number 3 is you're going to be like, well, who's having this feeling? And as you notice who is having the feeling, it's the observer. It's not your body. It's the observer to the body, which is the real you. And as you're the observer to this feeling, you start to fully accept it. As you start to fully embrace it and accept it, guess what happens? It starts to dissipate for the first time in maybe a long time, okay? Now you can go into a meditation to fully accept the feeling, and I have one called the 8-minute meditation. But the key is, it's always come back to neutrality. Once you're neutral, then you can go and ascend, and you can start to do your visualization and manifestation. If you try to create from this lower vibration, you're going to keep getting the same stuff you've always gotten because you haven't eliminated those old patterns. But if you go to neutrality first, and you're like, oh, okay, I don't feel any anxiety. This is great. And then you go and you visualize, and then you start to visualize and imagine and kind of feel what it's like to have the things that you want and the experiences you want to have. And then you wake up and you go through your day. What happens is you're going to get triggered again. Something's going to trigger you. Again, you're going to get dropped down to the 3 hertz, the lower dense vibrations. What do? You notice. Oh, I just noticed. I'm starting to worry again about my finances. Number 2, you give it a name. What is it? Worry. Number 3, you fully accept the feeling. Whatever it is, fully accept it. Fully accept what's here now. This is what Eckhart Tolle talks about, right? Be fully here now. Because he's saying fully accept the pain body. He calls it a pain body now. Fully accept it now. What we're doing is we're pushing it down, right? We're trying to get rid of it. And I'm saying, don't do that. Just let it come up. The energy's trying to come up anyways. And then what happens is as you do that, you're going to go to neutrality. As you get to neutrality, boom, you're elevated. You're back in the heart. Okay? Now, the key thing I think that I wanted to mention out of all this is that the breath is the fuel for the body. The only way that you can ascend and get through this process is by using the body and realizing that you're an observer to the body. This body is a vehicle for you in this lifetime to express yourself. And as you express yourself through this body, you're going to express yourself differently. Sometimes you're going to have days where you feel like you're having worry and fear and anxiety and depression. And other days you're going to feel ecstatic. Just notice that in the days where you have those negative days, you don't have to sit there for days or months or years. You can get out of it. You can rise out of it, but you've got to become the observer to your experience. And as you start observing those negative vibrations and not doing anything with them, just being the observer to them, just the fact that you're observing them changes them. Okay? Awesome. I hope you found that helpful. My name's Steve. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you found this helpful and someone else, a colleague or someone you know could really benefit from it, please share it with them. Okay? Thanks for watching. My name's Steve, and we'll talk to you next time.